Welcome back to the Making Sense of Money podcast presented to you by P1FCU, where we tackle all the financial topics that matter the most to you. I'm your host, Tanis, and on today's episode, we are going to be learning more about U of I's BEAMS program. Joining me to better understand this program, we have Cassie Smith and Danny Carlos. Welcome.
It's great to be here.
Yes, thank you
Very
for
excited.
being here.
Yeah, we're really excited to be here and talk about BEAMS.
Absolutely. I thought it would be nice if you could just give us a little brief, I'll ask more questions, but a brief overview of what BEAMS is and your role and how you got started there.
Absolutely. So I'm Cassie, and I currently oversee our BEAMS program. It stands for Better Education About Money for Students, and that is our financial wellness program housed in our financial aid office at University of Idaho. And so Danny actually has some historical context because he's been at U of I longer than me, but so he can kind of give you some more background. But I have been overseeing BEAMS for the past 2 years, since summer of 2023, right around the time that P1FCU wanted to partner with us for BEAMS. And I love it. We do workshops, we do one-on-one coaching sessions for students, all to help them with their personal finance and to have it housed within our financial aid office. We're able to also give students the financial aid perspective and ways that they can maybe take advantage of resources they're not already utilizing. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And so your historical background is...
Yeah. So when I started at U of I was a counselor in 2014, and that was when the conversations around, like, let's start a financial literacy program began at U of I, and the BEAMS program was named. I remember when they came up with the name, and it was the Better Education About Money for Students, so BEAMS. And I've seen it come from, this idea of like this start a financial literacy program up to where it is now with Cassie and the partnership with P1FCU. And it's been really great to watch that development throughout the years. There was about a 2-year stint that I did where I was supervising the BEAMS manager, and they had like a very one-on-one approach to financial literacy, which is great too. However, with this partnership with P1FCU, we've been able to expand a little bit more of like what we want students to get out of the program and more students to get out of the program.
Gosh, that's so good. That's stuff that is very needed, and it's something that I think is neglected for, adults too, but students especially. What does that support look like for students? One-on-one, even if it's on a different scale.
Yeah, so currently I oversee that portion. So right now our BEAMS program supports students with workshops that we do every semester, as well as one-on-one appointments. Right now I am the one hosting those appointments. I do the coaching sessions with students, and I have 15 years of financial aid background that I bring with me to those appointments, and I really have like a student-centered approach. So I like to ask students, what are they wanting to get out of this? How are they feeling about their personal finances? Where are they struggling? Where are they needing support? And a lot of times it's helpful for them to have someone to help with accountability. So maybe they're wanting to check in on how their budgeting is going, right, and then meet with us again in a month and see how they did. Or maybe they're struggling with how to pay off debt. We have some calculators and budget templates that they can use. We have a debt calculator that they can use. So we really try to support students with, a lot of the simple personal finance.
Yeah. It's almost like that foundational piece of growing up. You get kind of that basic knowledge that a lot of students just don't get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there more of you, or are you just the only one at this time?
Right now I am the only one. However, starting this fall, we're going to be introducing peer mentors that are going to be taking those appointments and helping students with that personal finance piece.
That's really nice. It also takes the pressure off of it too. It's not so like scary for an older adult telling you all these things, like, spitting out all these terms and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Besides coaching, what other tools or resources do you offer to students?
Yeah, so we have a few things in our office. So, for instance, we have a budgeting template that they can use.
Oh, that's right.
We have a debt calculator spreadsheet that they can use. And then we have this really cool game in our office called Money Habitudes. Have you ever heard of that one?
No, I have not.
It's really fun. So basically, it's like a deck of cards, and students can get out the deck of cards, and then they start categorizing things. There's 3 categories, like, yes, that's me, or, sometimes that's me, or no, that's not me. And it has these money habits on them. So, maybe you spend when you're feeling emotional, or when you're feeling happy, or when you're feeling sad,
Yeah.
And so the idea is you get to know what your money personality is.
Right.
And I think being able to identify that for students is really kind of the first step, so that they know what they can work on, or what their habits are normally
Yeah.
doing when it comes to their relationship with their finances.
Yeah, that's really good to have that awareness on that, because when you're young and you first start making money or you start spending money, it is hard to identify that. And then, you find out later in life, and it's kind of like the light bulb goes off.
Yeah, definitely.
So if a student was, listening to this right now, how would they get started tomorrow?
Yeah, so they would just need to jump on our website. They can schedule an appointment right there. To access our appointments for Beams, they do have to be an admitted student. So as long as they have a student login, they can get in, set up an appointment, and then they can add any notes to that appointment saying, I need to help with, budgeting, paying off debt, questions about student loans or student loan repayment upon graduation, anything like that. Or if they don't even have to put any of that in their notes, they can just schedule the appointment, and we'll help them brainstorm with them.
It's like too much to put on here.
Yeah.
How has your partnership with P1FCU enhanced the program or supported it?
Yeah, we love working with P1FCU. I know that we have been able to do workshops every semester since I took over the program in 2023. And each semester, P1FCU has contributed either 1 or 2 workshops with us. So it's been really exciting. I know just this last semester, we actually kind of added to the conversation with an activity. So P1FCU came and they did a debt presentation. Strategies for getting out of debt. And then right after that, a student of ours, Taylor, put together this activity that actually it was like on a website, and it was called Night of the Living Debt. And then students were able to make choices to pay off debt and get around through a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, nice. How fun is that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of things out there that are so fun to help in that learning aid of just making sound financial decisions. So that's really cool that student came up with that. How awesome. Is there anything that you wish that, students would know more about Beams, or maybe a misconception or something you'd like to clear up, just in case we have listeners that are thinking about that?
Yeah, I think increasing awareness that it's a resource out there for students and it's there to help, because I think a lot of students may not know about Beams or may not realize that they can make an appointment. I think just that alone, because we're here to help. And I think that the benefit of having it housed in the financial aid office is if there's something going on with their financial aid where maybe, for example, we have financial aid counselors in our office as well that help with appeals. So say you're a student who stopped working in order to attend school full time, and now you're struggling with budgeting. Beams can help you with the budgeting piece and also refer you to a financial aid counselor for a look at your FAFSA, because maybe that change in income would allow our office to do what's called professional judgment and adjust the FAFSA on our end to reflect that lack of income now.
Gotcha.
And that could potentially increase other financial aid resources that might be available to that student.
Right. And then it would be also vice versa, right? Like starting off with financial aid could be a referral to you if needed.
Absolutely.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you guys work as a big old team. That's great. How awesome is that? I have one last question, and it's for both of you. You both can answer this one. And that question is, what is one thing you wish you would have learned about money earlier in life?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, just understanding interest, like how quickly it compounds when that's not in your favor and when it is in your favor. When I was a young adult, I didn't always make the best choices. I didn't realize how quickly interest can compound when you when I opened my first credit card when I was 18, versus, as an older adult now, realizing, the more I can save, the earlier I can open a savings account. Watching interest grow in your favor is amazing. And if I had that foundation or understood those concepts earlier in life, even before I became an adult, that would have been amazing.
I wish I would have invested in cryptocurrency. That would have been fantastic. But yeah, compounding interest is definitely the answer for me too. Compounding interest it's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
It is a very intimidating concept to think.
It is, yeah. And then also like when you're young and when I was a young student, I was working, and it was very hard to conceptualize, oh cool, like I get like $5 in interest, great. But yeah, like over time, the compounding nature of that interest is really impactful.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for sharing all of that and spreading awareness on beams, because that's a very important thing to us, obviously, which is why we partner with you. And we think what you're doing is great. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, of
Thanks
course.
for having us. Nice to meet you, Tanis.
Yes, nice to meet you too. Thank you. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. We hope you learned something new today and feel one step closer to making sense of money. Don't forget to check out our newsletter and subscribe at p1fcu.org. We'll see you next time.